Welcome to the weekly RFOX AMA, everyone. It's Lenny Clifford here with Chief Product Officer Luke Fairbank. We're in the RFOX VALT Calanova quarter, giving you a look at it while it's in construction. Luke, it's good to have you back. How are you going?
I'm going great, thank you, Lenny. How are you?
Good, thank you. Let's get into it, The Citizen Metaverse Ready Avatar Sale week is upon us. It's a big one for the team and a lot of work has gone into it leading up to this week. And now we do have a buyer's guide up and I'll leave that in the description if anyone's interested. Now, we've covered the Citizens a lot over the past few weeks. So today we're getting back to the rest of the ecosystem with some questions from the community. So let's get going. Now, we've got a question about the KOGS Quest game. When will open beta be coming?
Okay, so we're getting very close. We've got a really big, bigger than the other products in the community of testers. We had such a big response to our signups for the closed beta that we've let a lot more people in than we expected. So we've got hundreds of people testing at the moment. Which is giving us really good feedback. It's allowing us to iterate quickly. So we're finding the bugs quickly and we're getting through them at a pretty good rate. So right now where we stand is we've just got to get the NFT integration turned on and then we just have to get a security audit done on that. Once that's all complete, then we're pretty much ready to go. So we're aiming for this month to be an open beta. If we can get those last few bugs sorted out and then get it through the security testing, then we should make it. It just depends on how we go with the bugs this week, but we'll be around that mark anyway. If we don't hit end of September, we'll be early October.
Okay. What will the NFT integration enable? Is that the play to earn function?
Yes, the play to earn function. Yeah, it's just the redeeming of NFTs and connecting the wallet and that sort of thing. So the wallet connection is there now. So if you've got NFTs in your wallet that can be played, that they'll appear. You have a counter basically, but the next step is obviously the redeeming and the earning of the NFTs. So that code's been in there for a little while. We just haven't turned it on.
All right then. Why did RFOX choose this format of game?
Yeah, it's a question that's been asked a lot, and from our perspective, we wanted something that was really straightforward that people were familiar with. A lot of the play to earn games that are out there already are basic, but they're not familiar formats, are not tried and tested formats. So we thought if we go with something that we know people love and then add the blockchain connectivity and the play to earn mechanics over the top of that, then we won't be wondering about the game and the success of the game. That will take care of itself. And the response we've had so far is that people love it. They're used to the format, but it is an addictive game anyway. And then with the NFT function on top, that's obviously makes it a lot more appealing. So we're pretty confident that people are going to love it. Also, we're not having to, as I said, go out and explain what the game is or how it works or the basic functions of it. People just get it, they pick it up, and they can use it.
Okay, sure. So you've been doing a lot of testing for KOGS Quest. What are some of the challenges that you've been finding?
Yeah, I think anytime there's a financial system in there, like the NFT purchasing, the NFT redeeming, and any sort of blockchain connectivity, that makes it a little bit more complicated. Also, we're trying to add some layers to this game. We don't want it to just be a really easy match 3 game that you can just power through really quickly, because that sort of defies the point. We wanted something that would build up and become more challenging as you progress. So the balancing of those levels is really important to us. Also, if we make it difficult in some levels to actually earn those NFTs, then there's more, more reason and incentive for people to go back and play those levels again. So those levels would get a bit more utility if you can go back and play them again and try and earn that NFT you didn't get the first time. So I think a lot of it's been around balancing, making sure that you don't want to make it too easy. You want it to be challenging for people, but you don't want to make it so hard that people give up on it. So we've tried to find that balance, and we're still tweaking that, and we're still getting feedback on that. So going out really early with it, even though it's had some bugs like anything does in an alpha stage, We think that's been really beneficial, and we've really got a lot back and been able to roll a lot back into the game as a result of that.
Okay, thanks for that, Luke. Now, the Vault, what are we working on at the moment? So, we're in the Calanova build right now in the construction site. What's the latest?
Well, we're obviously iterating with this as we always do. If anyone that has been into the other two earlier sandboxes that we had in the MVP, they'd remember that they started off quite basic, and then we built on top of them. And that's kind of where we are with this. And I sort of warned people with the first time they went in to this build that we've gone back to that early stage again. This is basically the first draft. The big difference now, though, with this is that this is the final quarter. This isn't just a sandbox or a test environment. This is Calanova. So we can start building on top of this pretty quickly. And one of the challenges we've had with the previous sandboxes is we want to improve it, and we want to give people that feeling of the quality that we're going to achieve. But we don't want to invest too much time into a scene and an instance that we're not going to maintain forever. So, but now we don't have that problem. We can just, obviously we can start building really quickly on this. And already in the first week and a half, we've ended up with the new avatar citizen statue. We've got the RFOX TV integration, so you can see the screen in there. So it's pulling videos down from RFOX TV, and really that could be anything. It doesn't have to just be a video. It could, down the track, it could be live streaming. We could play a concert in there, a movie. There's all sorts of different options for that, and it doesn't just have to be the huge billboard in the dome. Obviously shops can have billboards in them. This is really just a test to make sure that integration does work and it's smooth. The other thing we're working on is just aesthetics and materials and things in here, building this out to make it look a bit more polished. That's gonna take time, as I said, and we'll iterate as we go. But in parallel, we're also building out Arcimoto, so that's coming along really well. We've got all the block out for Arcimoto, so we can walk around that in VR. It's still got a fair bit of work to do on aesthetics, but we're getting really close. We're only weeks away from that. So that we think that's going to be really easy to plug in once Calanova's done, because the hard work is getting the avatar system working and getting voice working properly and all the back end infrastructure type stuff. Building out the quarters on top of that, the actual scenes, that's more straightforward. You're not repeating that same work again. So people will see some really quick progress from here. The other thing we're doing a lot of work on, which I just mentioned, is the back end. So capacity is obviously a big thing. We want to be able to get as many people as we can in here at once. So we're doing a lot of work on that, and we've just done some really major back end upgrades that will allow us to have many more people in simultaneously. Room sizes in shops are basically non-existent anymore, so we can have as many people as we want in there. So we're really expanding that out and testing that pretty quickly at the moment, so we can get out of MVP as quickly as possible, which is really our goal at the moment. And lastly, the other thing we're looking at is we've got obviously systems to plug in shop scenes, so the interiors of the shops. But what we're working on at the moment is making that much more flexible and building tools for these shop owners and creators to come in and build their own custom interior, which could be anything. It could be a game. It could be a really customized shop. It could be a bar or a nightclub. It could be whatever they really want it to be. So we're working on providing those tools and making that connectivity and plugging in through an API really simple. So it's a very long answer, but there's a lot going on.
Right. Now, I was going to ask you, you've talked about shop interiors. How will creators build their own shop interiors, and how would we avoid the package blowing out if everyone builds their own interiors?
Yep. So that's a great question. So that's been probably one of the biggest challenges, and it's a challenge that every game, every metaverse, every open world game out there has. So obviously the quarters are going to increase the size of this a fair bit. As I said before, some of the technology behind it, the back end stuff, doesn't need to be repeated, but the scenes themselves are quite large. And Arcimoto is just as big, just as many layers and things as Calanova. So when we add that, we're going to add a lot of heft to that package. So we're very mindful of that, and we're trying to avoid shop interiors, blowing out the package, as you said. So we've got a couple of approaches to that, and we're testing them both at the moment. So we can just bake in a shop interior as we do now into the package, but that's obviously not sustainable when there's 100 different shop interiors. So what we're going to do is have the ability to only load what we need to load in the core package, and then everything else will get pulled down dynamically. So we've got a few different methods for doing that, and we're just trying to figure out exactly the best way to do that right now. The tools to build are there. They've been there for years. Unity's got a lot of tools to build on, but it's really about the connectivity and how we pull that data down and how we stop that bloat and keep the performance to where it is today.
Okay. All right. Now, a question about apartments, and those are coming soon. What about those? Will they have the same issues, or could they have the same issues as shops when it comes to that capacity side of things and the builds blowing out?
Well, the good thing about apartments, especially in the first phase, is they will be quite similar to the way shops work now, which is that you have a few templates. So you have a few basic layouts, and then materials and aesthetics and colors and things can be changed. All of those things are very lightweight, and all of those things can get pulled down dynamically without it even being noticeable. So we've already got that technology. We've been using that for a while, and we know that works. I think where apartments become a little bit more challenging is when you start introducing NFTs for fit outs. If you want to change your furniture or something a bit more substantial than the color scheme or the floor material. But even then, we're talking about, relatively speaking, we're talking about much smaller amounts of data, much smaller packages that we're downloading. So they should be relatively straightforward, but we want to use the same tech across the board. So we'll still be pulling stuff down dynamically where we can. But the second phase of that, and this is something we need to still obviously determine exactly how this will work, but there's a possibility that you could have custom apartments down the track as well, completely custom apartments, and then that in itself is very interesting. But obviously we don't want to take away from the shops and the utility of the shops. It won't be about retail environments, but you might want to build yourself a fancier apartment than the guy next door.
Okay. Really looking forward to seeing those apartments. I'm hoping to see some teasers soon, and the citizens avatars as part of that package. Those owners will receive an apartment, or they'll receive 2 apartments if they're an OG avatar owner. So yeah, when might we see a glimpse of what those apartments may look like?
I'm just going to say very soon. We've got some early artwork ready. We just need to tidy it up a little bit, but it'll be coming out very soon. So we'll be really, really keen to show people that and get some feedback. And we're hoping that much like Calanova, other than spit and polish that still needs to go on it, this is what we designed. We built what we designed, and the same will be true for the apartments.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to it. Now, the NFT platform, it's going through some finishing touches. We've seen a demo of that recently internally. Really exciting, awesome work from the team to get it to that point. And there's new chains being integrated. Can you share which chain is coming first at this stage?
So obviously the marketplace and the NFT platform are 2 different things. They tie into each other, but they're different things at this point. So we've been focusing on the platform and the art generator, and which basically allows someone to come in with some artwork and build an NFT collection from scratch. So that's really been the focus, and the reason we've put the focus on that and sort of taken the foot off the accelerator a little bit on the marketplace is because that's where the demand has been. We've had a lot of creators coming to us wanting to use the tool, so we've really put a lot of time and effort into finishing that off. That's ready to go. It's been signed off. Smart contracts are there. All the testing's been done. So it's just a matter of getting that out now. We've already we've already launched a couple of projects on it, and we can still do that at the moment. But to hand it over to somebody and have them use it completely from scratch without any assistance is obviously where the true value is in that. As far as the chains go, we'll announce that when it comes out. But we're constantly adding chains in the background. But obviously, each time you do that, it builds in complexity. Contracts change, and even UI, right down to UI, everything changes when you introduce another chain. So what we're trying to do is get a balance between having a really stable project that is going to cover most bases, and then building on that as we go. So just back to the marketplace, that's, as I said, it's been delayed a little bit. Most of the back end work is done, but we need to finish UI, so it's still a little bit of work to do. But obviously, once the once the platform comes out and creators can go and build their projects, they're going to want a marketplace to put them in. So we're mindful of that, and we're back onto the marketplace now.
Okay, so just to clarify, the marketplace has a number of chains coming, but the actual platform itself, will you create and launch your own NFT platform, will be based on one chain? Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So the collection's all ETH at the moment, but obviously you need the marketplace to have multiple chains as well, because that's part of the point of difference with our marketplace, the multi-wallet, multi-chain. So we need to get as many chains into that as possible.
Okay. And so you mentioned it getting to the point where creators will be able to launch on their own. So it being grandma friendly with the market, with the NFTs, being such a new thing generally, how could that happen? Because, when you have a look at what's involved to launch one of these collections and using these platforms, it's not very straightforward. How are we going to get around that?
Well, we'll obviously demonstrate this when the time comes, but I was a bit skeptical as well, because you try and make things as simple as possible, but quite often, and especially in this space, it doesn't really work out that way. But it really is to the point where all you need to do is provide the art. Everything else is taken care of. The smart contract is pre-written and baked into the tool. The generation of the layering of the artwork and the creation of the NFTs themselves, right through from start to finish, is all done automatically in basically a wizard, and it's incredible to watch. And it's probably one of the most underrated tools that we're bringing out, and underrated products that we're bringing out. So I think when people see that it can actually do that, and we can actually spit out a collection on the other side, that allows somebody who doesn't necessarily have that experience or even the money to start an NFT collection on their own. There's now a platform to do that. So we're very excited and can't wait to share it.
Yep. Okay. All right. And let's look at RFOX TV. So the integration into the Vault has happened, as we can see, and that's fantastic. And what's the latest there? What's next? And I know the NFT minting is coming. Where are we at with that?
Yeah, so we'll have the first version internally in the middle of September, middle of this month, it'll be basic functionality at that point, but it'll allow you to take a video that's already hosted on RFOX TV and mint that into an NFT basically with one click. That happens in the marketplace. So obviously the marketplace needs to be sort of lined up with that, but it's got a separate sub-site, so we can actually run that independently. The next phase will bring in the ability to control the video and what happens to it after it's minted, and gives you a bit more flexibility on that front. But really, what we're focusing on right now is just getting that minting functionality happening and getting that out as an MVP. So we're on track for that. As I said, we're a couple of weeks away. And then the second piece to TV is obviously the integration, as we talked about. And we'll expand that out and allow will allow creators to come in and put a video up on TV, and then through a portal they'll be able to actually play their videos in the vault, and potentially buy time for advertising, or they might just want to, as I said, a shop owner may want to just display something in their shop, and they could host the video on RFOX TV and use that as the method for displaying that.
All right, thanks, Luke. There are a lot of products coming to the market now, and they'll be developed further over the coming months, and we'll soon see brands and creators using the ecosystem, and that'll obviously open up partnership opportunities, integrations, and growth for RFOX. It's come such a long way, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's and it feels like it's accelerating even more now. Like the momentum's building even faster, and we're exponentially speeding up. So it's really exciting.
All right then, Luke, to finish up then, just a reminder to everyone, if they're interested in learning more about the Citizen Metaverse Ready avatars, last week's AMA was packed with info on that, and there's also plenty of info on the sales site, rfoxvault.com/citizens. All right, Luke, thanks a lot, and we'll catch you again soon.
Thanks, Lenny.